Well, first of all, Joe, thank you very much for your time. Just how do you and the players assess the last few games?
The lads aren't happy with the last two games. The way we've played, the way we've performed. We know how much better we can be. And we're just determined to turn that round. Really, we know it hasn't been good enough, and we know that things can be better. But we're all working on that. So this week we had a good training week, and hopefully we can put a good performance in on Saturday.
Yeah, no midweek game for a change, and Nigel Pearson telling us there's been some frank discussions this week. Has it been beneficial to have some time away from the rigour of a Saturday, Tuesday?
I think for me personally, when you have a couple of hours, you just want a game straight away. But it was sort of good to, we've had a few discussions. We've had people have spoken. We've said a few things, whether it's the staff, the players, ourselves. We've all spoken about what we want to get out of this last 10 games, and we're all on the same path.
And since you returned from injury, how are you finding things? I think you're being managed, maybe being left out the side occasionally, just to make sure that nothing flares up. How are you finding your fitness since coming back to the side?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Obviously, I've still got a bit to go. I'm not 100% yet. I know that, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fitter every week. Obviously, at the start, I was having to manage myself. It is a bit frustrating because obviously I just want to get back to playing as quick as possible. But I think now I'm just starting to get consistent run of games now, and I'm feeling fitter each week really.
Yes, it's nice to see a smile on your face. Are you enjoying your football?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, obviously it's not nice losing the last two games, but I'm just at the past say 12 to 18 months been frustrating. So I'm just happy to be on the pitch, and I'm just enjoying myself more than anything.
And it's interesting you say maybe you're not fully fit yet, because I'd love to see you when you are. You're so full of energy, and playing various roles as well. I mean, almost this unofficial sweeper role in recent matches. How have you found that?
Yeah, obviously in the games it is difficult because I'm always all out, and obviously a game's 90 minutes, so I do get the odd spell when I get tired, whether it's normally I'd be checking my shoulders and I'd have pictures in my head, but when I do get tired sometimes I can make the odd mistake, which I am my own biggest critic, so I beat myself up over it a little bit, which is me, but in most of the games I think I've done well. But the sweeper role, yeah, the gaffer come up to me and he spoke to me about it, and he trusted me. He trusted me with it, to be fair. And I thought in that game against Middlesbrough, I thought I'd done it quite well. So it was nice of the gaffer to trust me with that role.
And ultimately, City need to stop conceding goals, don't they? It's a year now since your last clean sheet away from home. How important, how much work's going into making that possible?
Yeah, honestly, we've worked on it many times now. It's not we've went through clips, we went through things on the training ground. It's not through the lads not trying, the lads are trying the best, but it's just little lapses of concentration, little mistakes. We were two goals down the other day in 12 minutes without Birmingham really having to work for the two goals, and then you're having to chase the game, which is not what you want. We've got a lot of lads who are the first seasons in the Championship as well, which you've got to take into account. And everyone's learning. A few of the lads are going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. It's the first season of the Championship, so we've also got to be a little bit patient with a few of them, and then maybe the senior ones, we've all got to take a bit more responsibility and be a bit harder on each other.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like you're working on your discipline as well. You had a few yellow cards when you returned to the team, but is that something that you're conscious of and you're looking to put right?
Yeah, obviously it's our play. I don't share how to tackle as often. I like to get my foot in and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully the yellow cards come down, because I don't want to be getting suspended, especially next season. I think I'll be a bit more worried about it next season, because I won't want to be missing many games.
Yeah, still 10 games of this season to go, and I guess Blackburn away, Barnsley away, they're the Championship games you can get your teeth into.
Yeah, the massive games for us. Blackburn and Saturday coming up first. We know how much of a good side they are. They've had a really good season. So we're just going to take it one game at a time now. We know what we want to do. These last 10 games we want to finish. We don't want it to be like last season where we let it fizzle out, and we ended up sort of just letting the season fizzle out and got ourselves into a position that we shouldn't have been in, really. So we want to finish as high up the league as possible. We want to play in the front foot, and we want to play positive attacking football.
Well, keep up the good work. It's lovely to talk to you today. Thank you.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, mate. Okay.
Yeah, I'm alright, thank you. There's been a lot of talk about the attacking partnership and how good it is, but what makes a good centre midfield partnership? Because there's only, I think Nige said that you and Matty James were the first time you kind of played with each other in the centre for the first time this season, which is a bit mad, really.
Yeah. It's difficult, because you go to the season and you're building partnerships, and sometimes it might take a couple of games. Sometimes you might go straight away and click. I've trained with Matty a lot in midfield, and I've always played well with him in training and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to playing more games with him. We've got some really good players now. We've got good competition. So I think really we've had a lot of changes this year, and I think it's just sort of building partnerships, building, whether it's at the back, midfield. I think the lads up top have got really good partnerships at the minute. They're playing together consistently, and they're really showing that at the minute because they're playing really well. So I think it's just about getting that consistency, and then when you're in the team, keeping your shirt and making sure you stay in the team, really.
You spoke about your injury, how you're not quite there yet, but when you've dealt with an injury like yours, how many games does it kind of take for you to find that peak fitness?
It's just time. I think time will tell, really. To be fair, I'm feeling, as I look at the running stats and that, I'm doing more each game, and I'm feeling fitter. My heart rate's coming down in the games and stuff like that. So I'm feeling like I'm getting there. I'm getting closer. So I honestly don't feel like I'm far away, to be honest. I'm really looking to kick on in these last 10 games.
It's interesting that you mentioned that how you check the stats for each game. Do you do that after each game to kind of assess where your level is at the moment? Yeah,
well, we want to be as fit as we can be. So we obviously get the stats of how much we've ran compared to the other team, or in possession stats, stuff like that. So they come through after every game. That's just standard, really. So I just have a check with them, go through them with Dave, and he's got targets that he wants midfielders to be hitting every game, and I'm starting to get towards them targets now. So as I say, these last 10 games, I'm starting to feel a bit fitter now. I'm expecting myself to kick on.
And we talked about the Monday and how the team meeting, and Nige spoke about it, and just before you came to talk about the frank conversations. Can that kind of be a catalyst, to kind of improve the results? I guess in your experience before, you've had these discussions before, and is it an important part to kind of, improve the form of the team?
Yeah, I think it's good to have a few home truths and sort of to tell each other how we're all really thinking and how we're all really feeling, really, and going through things that we've got to improve of, because we've got to learn our lessons, and we've got to get better at things. But ultimately, it's about, we can talk all we want in the meetings and things like that, and we have had a few chats this year and things. But ultimately, it's about on a Saturday, and if we're not performing on a Saturday, we can talk to each other all we want and go in again. We can talk to each other again on the Monday, and if nothing's changing, it's just about what you're doing on the Saturday, really. So I think now it's more actions now. I think we've spoken enough now, and it's about performing on the pitch.
Yeah, the talking's got to be done on the pitch. So when you're in a kind of like run of form that we're in, is it, the old cliche goes, is it as simple as going back to basics to try and grind out a victory?
A little bit, but we're not unconfident. We're all still confident, and we don't think we've turned into bad players overnight or anything. We had a couple of bad performances, bad results. But we've had some really good games this season, so it's whether some lads go back and look at clips of the good games or just to maybe give them that bit of confidence again, I don't know. But, you know, we all need to remember that we're a good team, we've got good players, so I think just basically just trust ourselves, trust each other and our own ability, and just try and get back on the front foot and being a confident, like, attacking team again.
One more from me, Joe. You've been in Bristol now for, I think, just over 18 months. How are you have you settled in, and how are you enjoying the city on a whole?
Yeah, no, I've settled in really well as soon as I came, really. So, yeah, City's been great. People are all brilliant with me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to being here for another couple of years.
Cheers, Joe.
Thank you, Tar.
Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe.
Hiya, mate.
Sorry to go back to the meeting. Are you somebody who stands up and speaks in these sort of events? Is that something you do as an individual?
Yeah, I'd say it's part of my personality. I'd probably speak a little bit. Sometimes I can speak a little bit too much, so some meetings I keep my mouth shut a little bit more. But yeah, we've got a lot of vocal players in the dressing room, and I'd say there's about probably five or six of us who would speak, and then you've got other players who will probably lead a bit more example. You get different type of leaders and different type of characters in every changing room. But for me, I'd speak in the changing room. It's part of my personality. So yeah.
And I appreciate you're not going to give away specific details, but are these sort of conversations about attitude, tactics? What kind of thing? Well, I guess what in particular have you focused on that do you think's missing a bit?
I'm not going to tell you much what happened, but it wasn't anything major. It's just literally just get in, speak to each other, see what's going wrong on the pitch, off the pitch, whatever, and go through it with each other, because we all need each other. We're all a team. We all need each other. We all need to tell each other what's best for the club. What we all need from each other, basically. So, obviously, I'm not going to go into detail of what we all speak about and what we say, but it was just basically everything, standards on the pitch, off the pitch, just everything. It was just a good chat. There wasn't any conflict or anything like that. It was just the full team just speaking and getting things off our chest, really, what we can do better at.
Sorry, you get asked about your injuries every time you speak, which must be really annoying. But I'm just curious, are you doing anything different? Because you've had hamstring problems, plural. Are you having to do anything? And I'm not necessarily talking about in a game. I'm talking about just you in terms of your life, like, because you hear about like people injuring themselves at home and all this kind of stuff. Is there certain things that you'll have to do with yourself that you didn't do before? Does that make sense?
No, at almost everything I do, everything is exactly the same. Me and Dave have got a different program for me, so I've been doing different things in the gym. While I was doing my rehab, we had a few things I changed and tweaked about, and since I've done that, like, I've been fine. I'm so thankful for Dave to be helping me with that. He's been brilliant with me so far when I've been with him. So yeah, I'm just thankful for the effort and time that he's really put into me, really.
So is that, when you say, so that's certain routines you're doing in the gym? Is that as simple as that? Or
yeah, you know, we just had a few little tests, looked at a few little things of what the reasons were, why it maybe I was breaking down, and what you could do to fix that in the gym, and whether it's a bit of strength and a bit of movement mechanics and stuff like that. We've been doing all that in the gym, and to be fair, I'm feeling really good off it all.
On the sort of statistical analysis, you talk about the post-match stuff. What are the ones that you always look for, that you're kind of most proud of, or most want to get towards in terms of reaching that sort of upper tier?
As in what? Sorry, as in the stats.
Yeah, with the post match, because I guess you talk about like KPIs and stuff that you want to get to. Is there certain things that you look at that you're like, right, I really want to nail that?
No, I'm just bothered about the 3 points, mate, to be honest. Like, all the stats in the world, if they don't bother me unless we win. Like, you know, obviously as a midfielder, if you're looking at a midfielder, I want to win all my duels. I want to be high 80s, 90% pass completion, but ultimately it's a team game. I just want to win. I just want to get the 3 points, no matter how that comes about. But yeah, as I say, you can look at the stats all you want as well, but your stats could be brilliant. You're doing loads of running, and your pass completion could be 90%, and you've passed backwards for the full game. So I think there's a lot goes into stats, and that you shouldn't really take too much out of, to be fair. And I think the main thing that matters is getting the 3 points on a Saturday.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It was more to do when you said Dave had as sort of physical markers for you to be hitting. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, just because obviously we don't know about these things, so it's like, what are they that has been set for you, and what are you looking to hit in terms of the mark?
Dave basically at the start of the season, Dave basically, for midfielders, he has his own standards for a midfielder. So he went through a presentation on how much total distance you should hit as a midfielder, your high intensity distance, your sprint distance, and what he wanted from us, really. You know, it's the same for a fullback. What do him and the gaffer want us from the two fullbacks? How much do they want them to run in a game and stuff like that? You know, and ultimately, if most of the time, if all our stats and we've outran and outworked the opposition, we've normally done quite well, which we have done in most of the games, to be fair. But yeah, that's just basic midfielder stuff, really. What I should be hitting in games, and when I'm fit enough, I'm getting really close to it. Yeah.
Just the last one from me. Sam Ballard, you talked about the sort of younger players, and some of the senior players need to start looking after the younger players, take more responsibility, that kind of thing. Sam Ballard, a particularly difficult afternoon last Saturday, obviously got taken off at half time. The manager spoke about players not necessarily covering for him. I'm just wondering, would you speak to younger players when things like that happen? Did you speak to Sam on the day? Is that something you would talk to him about in terms of his, you know, having your role as a more senior player?
Yeah, I spoke to him after the game. I said, I put my arm around him. I said, listen, he's a striker. He's doing the job at right back, and he's got absolutely nothing to worry about. Like, he wouldn't be playing in our team if he weren't ready to play in our team. Like, the manager doesn't do that. He doesn't do that with young players. He is 100% ready to play in our team. He had a good game there against Borough. He found it tough the other day, but he's ready to play. I'd have no issue with Belly playing again on Saturday. Like, he's had a tough afternoon. Everyone has a tough afternoon. Do you know what I mean? I agree. I think he could have been helped out more. I agree, and I agree. He maybe has to take a little bit of responsibility himself as well, because, you know, come back Saturday, come back on the pitch, put your chest out, and go again, because that's what football's about. That game's gone now, and as I say, none of us have got an issue. He's a great lad, and he's a great player as well. We all love him.
Great stuff. Thanks for your time, Joe.
Hiya, Joe. Hope you're all right. Obviously, your return to the side is a welcome one. Just whilst you're away, holding the fort with Alex Scott and Hando and Masengo, what did you make of them? Were you discussing much with them as a midfield partner?
Yeah, you know, we always have chats with each other, and about games, and about how games have gone and stuff like that. This season, I think they've both been outstanding, especially for their age. They've had a lot of pressure on them, which probably they shouldn't have. But, you know, I think they've been outstanding, the both of them, and I've got nothing but praise for both of them, really.
Yeah, because of course both of them attack-minded players as well, and perhaps a bit more defensive, but Alex very attacking. Is a returner of perhaps yourself and Matty perhaps what they need, because obviously Han was rested last week as well, but just that a bit more defensive nous in the centre of the park as well.
Yeah, I think they both defended really well as well when they played, to be honest. So yeah, I wouldn't say that. I'd just say that like we've got four good centre midfielders, and the gaffer picks what's best for each game. I think they're both good defenders as well, so I think it's good competition in there.